If you're moving to Tampa Bay in 2026, you need to know both sides, the pros and the cons. The lifestyle is real here, but so are the hurricanes, the traffic, and the cost nobody tells you about. Today, I'll share 7 things you need to know before you make the move. And if we've never met before, my name is Juan Alcalá. 7 years ago today, my wife Kate and I packed up our family of 5, sold almost everything we owned, moved 1,200 miles south here to the Tampa Bay area, and we have been loving it ever since. And I've also been blessed enough to help a couple hundred families make that same move. And I've learned some things that I definitely want to share with you over that time, because here's what most people do. They Google things like Tampa weather, Florida taxes and the cost of living, but the ones who actually thrive here, they know the trade-offs before they make their move. So today, I'm breaking down the real pros and cons of moving to Tampa Bay in 2026. No hype, no doom, just the truth. And if you stick around to the end, I'll tell you the one question that predicts whether you'll love it here or if you're going to regret it. Okay, so here's what you need to know about Tampa Bay right now. 2026 is shaping up to be a massive year for the Bay Area. Water Street, Channelside, and the Gaswork District are completely transforming downtown Tampa. Moffitt's expanding in Wesley Chapel, St. Pete's skyline is exploding, and that's bringing billions in new infrastructure and attracting new luxury developments everywhere as well. And if you didn't know, Tampa isn't cheap Florida anymore. I used to tell everybody this was the land of milk and honey for basically no money. It's booming Florida now. And while that creates great opportunity, it also creates some trade-offs. And if you don't know what you're walking into, you'll either overpay, pick the wrong neighborhood, or burn out in a year or two. So let me show you both sides of the story. So the first pro, and I think the one that is most important, is the lifestyle. I still remember our first January here. My friends back home in Michigan were shoveling their driveways while we were eating dinner outside in our shorts on the lanai, looking at the pool or hanging out at the beach. And this isn't vacation mode, it's literally our daily life now. Kate and I used to pinch each other and say, is this real? Like, we used to wake up in the morning and look at each other like, we live in Florida and like no one's repossessed our life. And it was that level of excitement. And 7 years ago, literally today, we're still saying that same thing. Our kids have been able to participate in year-round outdoor sports. They all swim, they're on the pool deck, they swam twice today. We go to the beach on the weekends and it's the beginning of December. There's golf and tennis and pickleball, boating, kayaking, paddleboarding, concerts, outdoor concerts, and festivals all over the place. I love going to downtown St. Pete. My wife goes to farmers markets all the time, and that's basically what our winters look like now, and it's incredible. We're not waiting 6 months for summer to come only to be able to spend 18 to 20 weeks outside before we've got to do it all over again. You're living this type of lifestyle every single day. And for families, your kids are outside, they're playing, they're moving, they're not stuck inside staring at screens because it's 20 degrees outdoors. This is the lifestyle upgrade you can't fake in cold weather states. And we're a hub, right? You're only a few hours from Miami, 90 minutes to Orlando, day trips to the Keys, and you can be up in the Jacksonville area in about 4 hours. We've got world-class beaches, literally. Clearwater Beach and St. Pete Beach have both been recognized as one of the best beaches in America. And just about an hour and 20 minutes south, you can go down to Siesta Key at Lido Beach and Anna Maria Island. It's beautiful. We've got a booming food scene here, a calendar that's packed with events year-round. And if you're relocating for lifestyle, not just lower taxes, Tampa Bay delivers. And the last thing I'll say on this is my friends ask me, after the first year, they're like, Juan, what's the biggest difference? And I say the same thing now that I did then, which is you don't have to shovel sunshine, and we are so grateful for it. The second pro is growth. Tampa Bay isn't just adding houses, it's adding opportunity. We've had billions in investment. Like we said, Water Street in downtown Tampa. You got the Moffitt Cancer Center expanding everywhere. There's a research institute going up because of that. 700 acres. I mean, they're working on solving issues like trying to eliminate cancer, which is amazing. You've got Gasworks and Ybor City revitalization, St. Pete luxury high rises, and all the lifestyle that comes with that. And new corporate headquarters popping up all over the place. This means better restaurants, better infrastructure, more high-paying jobs, which is super important, and stronger property values over time. You're not just moving to Tampa, you're buying into a region that's still on its way up. And when you get here, you'll see it. There are cranes and high-rises all over the place. There are all different types of new commercial and residential real estate projects taking place all over Tampa Bay. And when you move into more mature neighborhoods, neighborhoods like South Tampa, Old Northeast and St. Petersburg, West Chase, you're really setting yourself up for lifestyle and equity growth over time. My third pro is the community, and the energy here is phenomenal. Tampa Bay is full of transplants just like ourselves, people who choose to live here. It really creates openness. A lot of neighbors introduce themselves. If you go to a park, one of the first questions people are gonna ask you is like, hey, where are you from? And if you think about that for a second, most people only ask that because most people aren't from here. So it's a common question because the people that you meet are either, considering doing what you're doing. They're either just started that move here, and maybe they've been here for a year, they've been here for 5 years like ourselves, or maybe they've been here for 20, but that really makes it a communal experience. And you get into those neighborhoods, parents will organize block parties, you'll have professional networks and coffee shops. We got run clubs everywhere. When we moved here, we were scared about losing our Michigan community and family. But what we found was a city full of people who are extremely welcoming and going through the same types of things. When you move here, you're not stepping into someone else's story, you're really rewriting a new one for yourself. And for families like ours, and probably like yours, that means making quicker and deeper connections, friends faster. And I know we always talk about the kids, but let's be real, y'all. A lot of adults are worried about where they're gonna find friends too, and these communities have been very welcoming. For professionals, that means connections across industries. And Tampa Bay just isn't a one-employer town. It's a mix of finance, healthcare, tech, real estate, hospitality, and education. It's a great place to raise a family. And that diversity creates a lot of great energy. And if you're high capacity and ambitious, you're going to love it and feel it immediately. So my first con is weather. I know people love to throw this out as a pro, and I have in the past too, but really it's kind of a component of lifestyle on the good end. But weather on the bad end, it's a whole entire different conversation. When we talk about Florida weather, yes, it's beautiful, but Florida weather is also intense, y'all. Summers here are hot and humid. June through September, it's 90+ degrees with 80% or more humidity. You gotta plan your Publix runs around afternoon thunderstorms. You're gonna need to keep an extra shirt in the car because you're soaked by the time you walk from the parking lot. And hurricane season, it's real, y'all. We're living proof of it. I'll never forget our first big storm watch. We just moved here. We didn't have hurricane shutters. We had no real plan, 3 kids. It was super stressful. The reality is you're not just moving to sunshine, you're moving to a climate you have to plan for. That means understanding flood zones, impact windows, generator backups, homeowners, and of course, flood insurance if you need that, which is a suggestion anyways, whether it's required or not. And how do I know? Because last year when Hurricane Milton came through, our home was flooded. We've shared this story and this journey on this channel. It took us almost 9 months to get back in this home, and we're still not done with the renovations. Now, could we have just repaired things and got back in the home? Of course we could have. And, have we gone further than we would have if we were just gonna do a standard repair? Yeah, absolutely. We've renovated the entire house and it's beautiful now. And the good news is the homes are really built tough. My home is all block, even though our house flooded. It didn't flood because of storm surge, it flooded because of the amount of rain we had. And the newer homes, they are built to last. They're built super tough, they're built on high elevation, and if you're buying older construction like ours or waterfront, you need to know what you're walking into. We still have clients that buy homes that have been flooded. That's a regular occurrence, but it's not for everyone. This isn't a deal breaker, but it's a mental adjustment, and it's something you're going to have to prepare for when you're moving from areas like the Northeast or the Midwest where weather is fairly predictable. My second con on this list is the cost. Tampa Bay used to be affordable Florida, and it's not really anymore, especially in the neighborhoods that you actually want to live in. Now, is it impossible? Absolutely not. But is it cheap? Absolutely not. Areas like South Tampa, West Chase, Old Northeast, Starkey Ranch, Wesley Chapel, Lakewood Ranch, these areas have seen massive appreciation over the last 5 years. Now compared to New York, New Jersey, DC, California, or Seattle, those types of areas, you're upgrading your lifestyle and lowering your overall cost of living. But compared to the perception of cheap Florida, you'll be surprised, so keep that in mind. And here's what people miss. Property taxes, homeowners insurance, flood insurance, HOA, CDD fees, and pool maintenance can really add up for people. Sometimes they don't take those into account. You know, your all-in monthly cost matters just as much as the purchase price of a home. And these home budgets can vary wildly. If you're in the newer suburbs north of Tampa or in the southeast in areas like Parrish and Lakewood Ranch, you can get homeowners insurance for as low as $1,200. I've heard policies at $900, which is crazy because there's a lot less risk. But we've had clients that had bought right on the water that some of their homes were uninsurable. Now, granted, these were cottages built right on the water, so there's a lot of risk there. But, you know, we see on average anywhere between $1,200 to $1,500 for new construction and as much as $8,000 on areas that are in flood zones, so keep that in mind. You know, for HOA and CDD fees, that can easily be another $3,500 to $5,000 annually if that's an area that you buy into. You know, and to keep up a pool, if you do it on your own, I've heard of people doing it for $200 or $300 annually. We've never taken care of our own pool. It's just not something that I wanted to do. I've always hired out lawn and pool because it's a competitive market for both of them. We honestly pay $100 every single month to get our pool taken care of, so it's a $1,200 expense annually, and I pay $120 to get my lawn done every month too. So again, it's worth it to me to get that done. It may not be for you, but a lot of our clients hire these types of jobs out, so that's something to take into consideration. And one of the things we do for our clients is we jump on a Zoom call before they ever come down and start their exploration and help answer some of these questions. What are those all-in costs? What do we need to be looking out for? Because your dream home could be, you know, $600,000, $700,000, $800,000, which is awesome. But then you could be into it for another, you know, $8,000 to $18,000 annually if you're not paying attention. So you really want to get dialed in before you get too excited and find out this doesn't really work for your budget. My third con is the traffic and the layout of the area. Tampa Bay is really spread out. You know, depending on if you consider Sarasota part of the area here, that's a 6th county. I mean, we are talking about a 2.5-hour drive time from tip to tail if you're gonna go all the way north and all the way south. Because there's not just one urban core where everything happens. You've got pockets in downtown Tampa, South Tampa, St. Pete, up in Wesley Chapel, over in Clearwater and St. Pete Beach, also out in Lakewood Ranch and Sarasota. So this is a wide berth that you really have to take into account in terms of what it means for your lifestyle, and most importantly for the drive time that you're going to expect if you have to drive to the office every day. Commutes that look easy on Google Maps, they can easily double during rush hour. You have to take this into account. Please, please, please make sure that you're asking the right questions. Schools, work, and weekend activities or sports with the kids are often in different zip codes. You're not just gonna be picking a house, you're gonna be picking a daily rhythm, if you will. I've watched families buy in West Chase because the house was perfect, then realize they're gonna be driving 90 minutes round trip to work in St. Pete. Or retirees who buy in Safety Harbor because it's charming, then realize it's gonna be 45 minutes from the airport and 30 minutes from their grandkids' sports games on the weekends. Because remember, location isn't just about the house, it's about your lifestyle and the time that you have to allocate to get to places. So when you reach out to us, we reverse engineer commutes, school runs, and weekend plans before we start showing homes to our clients. Because the wrong location, even if the house is great, will drain your energy, I promise you. All right, my fourth con is HOAs. Many of Tampa Bay's best communities like West Chase, Fishhawk, Starkey Ranch are all HOA run. And that's how you get those pools, parks, tennis courts, and lifestyle directors, but it also means rules, fees, and less autonomy over your personal property. If you want to paint your house a different color, you need to get approval. Want to park your boat in a driveway? Not allowed. Want to build a fence? You got to submit the plans. And on the flip side, non-HOA neighborhoods like the one that we live in do give you freedom, but less consistency. Your neighbor might have 6 cars in the lawn. Ours don't, thank the Lord. And neither is wrong, but you need to know which one matters most to you before you fall in love with a single home or a community. For some families, HOA life is perfect. You know, you've got gated communities, parks, and pools like we talked about. For others, it can be suffocating. They want to put their small trailer in the backyard or keep their boat or kayak in the backyard, and that's just not an option when you live in an HOA community. So make sure you figure out which camp you're in because this is going to deeply impact your lifestyle. So that's the real picture. 3 big pros: lifestyle, growth, and community. 4 real cons, which are weather intensity, higher cost, traffic and sprawl, and then HOA trade-offs. And remember that question I was telling you about earlier that no one asked that's gonna predict whether you love living here or regret it? Well, here it is. Are you moving to something or away from something? Because the answer changes everything for you, and let me explain. If you're moving to Tampa Bay for the lifestyle, the growth, community, outdoor living, you're going to love it here. You'll plan and be prepared for hurricanes and inclement weather. You'll budget for insurance. You'll make sure you map out your commute and you'll thrive. But if you're moving away from something like higher taxes, cold weather, and work stress without a clear vision of what you're building here, Tampa will feel like an expensive, humid mistake. And yes, are there tax benefits like no state income tax and no estate tax? Yes, those things are awesome, but not everybody is able to take advantage of them, so keep that in mind. And this is why we spend so much time with our clients who are relocating here before they take that leap. We don't start our homebuyer strategy sessions with houses, we start them with questions. What does your life look like outside of the four walls that you're gonna be living in? What do Saturdays look like? What do your kids need to be doing during the week? What's your commute tolerance? Is it 30 minutes? Is it an hour? Everybody's different. Do you want a neighborhood that's walkable or a yard where you can ride a dirt bike around in it? Do you want a neighborhood that's walkable that comes with an HOA? Or do you want to have a great piece of land where you can put your boat and your RV in the backyard? Do you want to be out in the suburbs and far away from hurricane threats? Or are you crazies like us and want to live right by the beach and go see a Gulf Coast sunset every single night? And these are the questions you have to start with because y'all, Tampa can give you an incredible lifestyle. But you have to be clear on your priorities before you make any move. So here's the real story of living in Tampa Bay in 2026. Your pros are lifestyle upgrade with year-round outdoor living. We're in an economic boom, billions in growth and opportunity, big community energy, and people who transplant to the area building lives together. Cons are the weather that's too hot, humid, and hurricanes are real, y'all. That is no joke. You know, when it comes to cost of living, we're no longer cheap Florida or the land of milk and honey for no money. When it comes to traffic, things are spread out and it requires actual planning. HOAs, structure versus freedom trade-off. Again, it's not for everybody. And Tampa Bay, just like every other place on this planet, isn't perfect. But if you move here with your eyes open and your priorities clear, it can be an incredible experience for you, just like it has been for us. And if you're ready to start that conversation, there's a link in the description down below that you can book a Zoom call with me and the team. There's no pressure, no pitch, it's just clarity. We'll talk about your goals, your routines, and your why. We'll reverse engineer the entire process. That way we can help you identify communities and neighborhoods that match your ideal lifestyle before you ever even take a trip to take a look at these places, because you're not just moving to Florida, you're moving to the next version of your life. And let's be real, that deserves more than a Zillow search and hope. If this helped you in any way, don't hesitate to hit that like button and feel free to subscribe so you can be notified when we make videos just like this. And leave me a question down below. I respond to all of them. What's your biggest concern? Let me know down there. I'm happy to help point you in the right direction and get you the resources that can help you make qualified decisions. I read every one of those comments. I respond to them personally. There are no bots. And YouTube's gonna put 2 more videos up here that will help you make this decision even clearer. And as always, until next time, go out and live that Tampa life.